Now Tim wants you to come up with a jingle for a commercial.
Driving, distracted. That's how they acted. Musician in the back seat, bacon for morning treat. That's driving, distracted.
Distracted driving, riding around filming for you. Distracted driving, jokes and games and interviews. Distracted driving, tune in, have a good time. Distracted driving, Ray and Tim and Jay from behind.
No windy, bumpy roads.
I know, I try to avoid them, but we're in a different area this time, so...
We're on the straightaway.
Jen, I think, right? Jen?
Monica.
For a while. Just the last one.
Monica's
we're on the straightaway
episode,
for
yeah.
a while, and we're doing great. And all of a sudden, Tim takes this one left, and we start going up and down. And I mean, it's hot in here. I'm starting to be like, all right, wait a minute, we gotta just take another
You gonna
road.
throw up?
And that would have been a first.
All right, we're recording.
Every time we say we're recording, it gets silent.
It does, because I say we're recording, and then you're supposed
We
to
all
start
clam
this.
out.
All right, mic is on,
All
light
right.
is blinking, our guest is in the back.
Well, welcome to another episode of Distracted Driving, a very special episode with a very special guest, Ellis Paul, ladies and gentlemen.
Woo!
Wow.
Hi,
You get-
Ellis.
You get the
How are you?
vinyl.
Yeah, that's
Did.
Tim's. This is a double?
Can we play that in the car?
We can.
I actually tried to figure out how to bring it in, because I have a jack. Trust
do
me,
you
I
really?
thought
Wow.
this, yeah.
Wow, because I have the portable record player.
I went home last night after your show, and Barbara and I listened to the whole thing.
Oh, good.
Now, I've already heard it many times, but it sounds so much better on vinyl.
Oh, I'm glad you're saying that because I've only heard it on really crappy players.
Oh, I have a crappy player, too,
Oh,
but,
really?
but it
Okay.
actually adds to it, in my opinion.
Yeah, there's a certain.
And I love the
charm to
3
that.
bonus songs.
Yeah, I wrote that song "Turntable" for the vinyl.
That's awesome.
That makes
And then
sense.
actually,
Yeah.
in the, you re-recorded
The World Ain't Slowing
World
Down.
Ain't Slowing Down, which is one of my favorite songs of all time.
Yeah, that was a recording I did like 15 years ago that we just have never released
Oh, okay.
to the public, and so.
I love the fact that vinyl's back. Vinyl is
I do too.
completely back again, and people are embracing it. And what's the weight of records now? They're heavier now, and you almost have more sound coming out of it now.
Check this out. This is a heavy.
No, I know.
It's 2, but that's pretty heavy.
When I won the double album for Pearl Jam from you, I remember you handed it to me. I'm like, wow, the records are heavier now, and I don't know the significance of it, but I swear it sounds even better.
Yeah, it's 180 grams, but we didn't do that heavy on this one. But next time I press one, I'll probably go even heavier.
See, that's cool.
So is this the first one you pressed vinyl?
Yeah, I mean, when I started doing music, vinyl was on its way out, and cassettes and CDs were what you did. So that was 20 albums ago, and this is my first vinyl.
Is it 20 albums?
Yeah,
Wow.
I've got 20 different projects.
So I met you once, and I'm sure I have no expectation that you remember this, but I met you for your release of Stories.
Oh, really?
You played an in-store. I was managing Newbury Comics in Natick at the time.
Oh,
And you
wow.
played an in-store performance right at the front counter. And they had come to me saying, hey, do you want Ellis Paul to play? And I was a huge say something and everything. I've been following
Oh,
you
no
since the
kidding.
beginning. So I'm like, yeah, you got to bring in Ellis Paul. So they bring in you, and I just remembered no one paid attention to anything. Because it's an alternative record store.
Right.
And all I remember
There's
is this
some
kid
dude
walked
playing.
right in front of you as he wants to be rung up buying Nirvana, and you stopped your song halfway through and you go, what are you buying there, young man? And he goes, Nirvana. Oh, we're going to play some Nirvana songs next if you stick around. That's okay. And he just he checks out and he leaves. And I just remember going, they're never going to let me pick the in-store guest again.
That's funny.
So, yeah, that was the first time I met you.
Yeah, was I suffering through it, or did I?
No, you had a blast.
Oh, good.
Yeah, because I brought all my friends in, and we're sitting on the
all right.
side. And
Well, it's good to know that I made the most of it.
and who was it? She had long curly hair from Newbury Comics. She was there.
Oh, Lisa?
Lisa, yeah,
Perret.
Fail. Yep. So anyway, that's my story.
Cool.
That's a good story. Did you ever have a single? You mentioned
Cassingle?
Yeah, you had cassettes and albums. Cassingle? Were you ever on a Cassingle?
I never even knew that Cassingles existed until now. So,
Till right now.
Till today, yeah. I've never heard of a Cassingle.
Oh yeah, it just had the one song and then the B-side.
Then you flip it over like a 45. It was a 45 version of it. Yeah.
I don't remember ever doing that either. I definitely did some CD singles kind of things when I was on the label I was on at the time. But yeah.
Where did it start for you? I'm talking, like Tim's a huge fan, so he knows. I think he knows everything there is to know about you. I've become a fan recently.
That makes me sound a little weird. Yeah.
You are driving the car. We don't want him to think
Okay.
we're gonna. But where did it start for you?
Well, I guess it started at these open mics in Boston that I used to go to with like a crew of people that all ended up being longtime nationally touring singer-songwriters, and there were places called the Old Vienna Coffee House in Westboro.
Yep.
There was an open mic at the Nameless Coffee House in Harvard Square, and Club Passim didn't have an open mic at the time. But there were a few others, and this roaming band of early 20-somethings would be going from place to place to place to place. Martin Sexton was in it, Patty Griffin, Dar Williams, Vance Gilbert, Katie Curtis, all these sort of, still doing it kind of folk musicians who, they were great in their 20s, and we were all very competitive with one another and trying to compete for the same gigs and see who could outdo each other from song to song, and
That's cool.
it was a great environment to do this because everybody was cool too. It wasn't sort of a catty kind of environment where people were jealous and backstabbing or anything like that. It was a very positive experience.
Your scene is very intimate. Do you still run into these guys that you started with?
All the time, yeah. See them all the time. I talked to Vance yesterday, and sometimes I don't see these people until we do like a group show at a festival or split bills or something nationally, but it's just nice to see everyone still doing it after 20, 30 years.
And you all seem to be huge fans of each other. I sat next to Vance Gilbert at one of your shows, and you had no bigger fan in that room than Vance Gilbert that night. I mean, he was...
Yeah, there should be a restraining order on it.
You guys did an album together, didn't you?
We did, yeah. We did a sort of odd couple album and mostly cover songs, but Rounder put it out.
Yep.
And it was great. Yeah, it was fun. We toured that for 4 or 5 months and then went our separate ways again, but it was really fun to do. It was one of those side project albums. I had a few of those over the years.
Nice.
In your genres, there are still a lot of up-and-comers. Are you guys always releasing new acts? And
yeah, I always try and bring new people on the road with me, and there's almost like a mentorship program in my life where I have adopted a young up-and-coming songwriter, and then I'll give them about a year or 2 years of my life, and they'll open for me all over the country, and they'll get to see how I do shows and how I do my business, and because there's no school for this,
I was gonna say that's huge. People must be vying for that, like left and right.
Well, a lot of people come in sometimes just for a few weekends and do it. But, like Anja Duvakot, who was there at the party where you guys picked me up, she was on the road with me for 2 years. And Rebecca Lobe has been on the road with me for 2 years, and she was on The Voice, the first season of The Voice, and she just got done riding in that seat. And there's been quite a few others that just come in for a few weekends here or there. But I think it's important. I had people do that for me, and I think it's a good learning experience, and then they get exposure to audiences, so it's good.
we picked you up at a friend's house. Is that how you travel when you're playing shows?
From friend's house to friend's house
Yeah.
to friend's house.
I mean, that's kind of neat. I like that.
Yeah.
It's almost like you're being sponsored by a friend. What do they do? They do that with like the minor league baseball teams or the Cape League or something. The kids, they have sponsor families.
Yeah, it's kind of like that. Those guys are Hillary and Dave. That's where you guys picked me up. They almost have an orphanage for traveling folk singers.
That's great. I think that's great. What a great way to support music.
Yeah, they're
by
huge
opening your house.
music fans, but they're just very gracious, and they know that to stay at a hotel, you'll spend $100, and that takes a nice percentage of your nightly fee out of your back pocket. And
Yep.
so,
Plus, they have bacon.
Yeah.
A lot of bacon.
Which Jennifer Teft, who we had on the show, smelled like bacon when she was on. I told her you were on. She's a big fan of yours. She goes, yeah, but he's not going to smell like bacon, I bet. And you do. So
take that, Jen.
Yeah.
It's becoming a
now
thing.
Jen, you have something in common with Ellis Paul.
All right. There
Besides
you go.
being musicians, you both smell like bacon.
My daughter's a huge, and I always mess up her name. Anje?
Yeah, Anja. It's hard.
Anja.
I don't even know if I'm pronouncing it right now.
We met her at one of your shows, and my daughter got it's one of my favorite photos, and I have plenty of photos of my kid, but it was taken on a cell phone before there were good cameras, and she's all scrunched up, and she's standing next to her, and she has her arm around her.
Oh, nice.
And my daughter, it was like my daughter just meeting this woman who, she actually, huge influence, because my daughter now plays piano and loves music. My son's a huge fan of yours too, so I mean, all that stuff kind of comes around circle and feeds into these dreams of these young kids.
Yeah, it's nice. You know, after you do it for a long time, you become fans of the younger, the kids, or the people that grew up with you, and so it's multi-generational after a while.
Well, a friend of mine introduced your music to me when I was my friend Greg when I was working in Newbury, so I was probably like 20.
Yeah.
And so I brought him to your show last night.
All right.
And we're just sitting there, and it's funny because we had seen you at Passine many times. I've seen you in a bunch of different places, and his comment was, "It's like we're now the audience that used to be. We're at the age of the audience of the people that used to come to your show."
Right.
It was a very. We were kind of depressed at the end of this. Yeah. It's like we're no longer the young people sitting here enjoying this awesome music. We're the other people. Yeah.
Tim, here's a question for you.
Yeah.
I don't think we ever ask you questions.
How old am I?
How old are you, Tim?
Yeah.
You're very old.
Yeah, I'm very old.
Yeah,
I got a shave.
You introduced me to Ellis's music maybe a couple months ago when you started taking pictures of him, and then you gave me like 10 of his CDs to listen to over the last month or so. And that's how I became a fan. But how is it introducing somebody's music that you're so passionate about to somebody like me, experiencing it for the first time?
Well, it's risky, to be honest with you. I mean, honestly, when I handed...
Because you don't want to be disappointed by my disappointment.
I don't want to have to hate you. Yeah. You know, it's like, hey...
We'd have issues.
Yeah, you don't like his
what
music.
Is this?
Well,
no, I ended up thoroughly enjoying it. And
I have shared Ellis's music probably more than anybody's music I've shared. And,
Yes.
And...
Aerosmith, did you
introduced, by the way. I tell them to go purchase your stuff. I'm not saying that I illegally do anything. Yeah.
And he worked.
I'm over that.
And he worked
It's
at Newbury
It's been a losing battle. I can't fight it anymore.
And he worked at Newbury for a very long time, so there was many, many, many different
opportunities. Yeah. But in this, please don't take this as a creepy thing. Your music
creeps me out.
Your music fits into a soundtrack part of my life. If we go through different things, there's different moments that go with different CDs. Speed of Trees, I purchased right before I went on a California trip for 10 days, and I drove around in a car, and that's all we listened to was Speed of Trees.
That's great.
So anybody that got in the car with me on that trip, Speed of Trees. So now when I hear that, I go back to my trip. And so in Stories is when I started dating my wife.
I can out-creepy you right now.
Okay,
I've become such a fan of Ellis's that I purchased the souvenir glasses.
Nice.
Which I thought, I got to get these signed. They're not prescription, so...
Either of these. These are actually readers. I have contacts. Yeah.
I love the glasses, though. I mean, it really adds to the whole Ellis experience, I think.
Oh, really?
I don't know why.
What does it say about me?
Well, it says that when I saw these glasses...
The one that I'm blind?
I'm like, no, when I saw these, I thought, oh, that's Ellis. Ellis wears these glasses. Made me think of you.
Does it make me look like I read a lot?
It makes you look studious.
Studious.
Is that what you're going for? Because I noticed you cut off the hair. You cut off the hair.
I wouldn't wear these if I didn't need to wear them.
Tell us the story behind the glasses. I'm blind.
It was weird. I hit 50 and I went to have my eyes checked, and I got my contact lenses and new glasses. And then my eyes felt like it wasn't enough, and then I just put on a pair of reading glasses. I'm like, well, here, I'm perfect now. I can see 20/20 like both near and far. I didn't have the problem of the bifocal thing that happens to people who get older, where you can only read things close up. You have to have the bifocal things happening. But with this combination, I've solved it. I feel like I made a new invention.
I think you made an impression is what you've done. Because I saw your New Year's Eve show, where I was fortunate enough to take some pictures, and I just remember sitting around the people, and the people were all look at the glasses. He's got like the Buddy Holly glasses going on now. Like, people were talking about your glasses.
Yeah.
Because I imagine at that show, there's a lot of people that see you maybe that one show a year,
Right, and you freak them out when you
show up differently. Like, where'd your hair go?
Right,
you know?
exactly. I had long hair for a long time.
Yeah, looking at the album covers, it's you had a lot of different looks, but the long hair really stood out. Love the shots with the cowboy hat. I don't know why. Just rock star photos there.
My favorite photo is the one where you jumping off a pier, holding the guitar.
Right.
What happened to the
favorite photos
guitar?
are the ones you took.
Hey, those were great, actually. Yeah, you took some beautiful
Had fun
shots.
doing that.
Yeah.
If you weren't playing this genre of music, like, what would be a song that somebody would be shocked to hear Ellis ever sing?
And feel free to play a little bit of it.
Oh, God.
Putting you on the spot, obviously.
You know, during the New Year's shows, I always pick sort of kitschy covers to do with the guys, and we've done Bee Gees songs, Michael Jackson songs. We've done you know, mainly stuff from the 70s and 80s. You know, please come to Boston for the springtime. Things that are sort of kitschy kind of 70s things that the crowd would understand. But,
Yep.
but that stuff I love doing. But, you know, I would probably have been in... I have a very kind of high poppy tenor voice that's not even perfectly suited for folk music. But I'm just gravitated to the writing thing that folk music provides me. And so I probably would have ended up being, you know, in a pop band, some kind of pop rock band.
And whenever I describe you to somebody who asks me about you, my take, being a recent fan, is that you are the rebel of the folk scene. That's how I feel with your music.
The rebel. I like that.
You got a folk scene, you're the rebel. You're the black sheep of the folk scene. And I think that's because of your voice and your delivery. But the songwriting, very folksy. But I just feel like there's more of an edge to you than most folk artists.
Yeah, there's definitely, you know, all the rock and pop influences I grew up are in my writing style, and for better or for worse. But I still consider myself a folk musician.
Sure.
Because,
Well, the stories.
Yeah, and I'm not really writing just with the sole intent of getting on radio. And
What is the goal? That was going to be one of my questions. What is the goal when you put pen to paper? What is the goal of that song you were about to write?
I'm just trying to capture the essence of what the song is about as clearly as possible, so it's believable. You know, songwriting for me is like, it's like creating a three-dimensional snow globe, and so people are looking inside it and they see, you know, they see a life happening, they see a little town, they see people interacting, and then they kind of use their own history in painting what the picture is inside the snow globe, and then they become part of the song, and they're one of the characters inside the snow globe, and then you know you've captured them because they associate it with their own life somehow, and so the idea is that magic trick of pulling people into the three-dimensional world you're creating, and make them feel like this song was made for me, or like it could only have been written for me. It's got to be universal enough so it pulls everybody in that way.
Yeah.
You got a song that you would mind
Yeah,
sharing?
I think so. This one is called Drive-In Movie. It's on this new album here.
Yep.
Take me to a drive-in movie. Put your body right next to me. Whisper promises to me. Roll the windows down. When you look at me like that, kiss me and I kiss you right back. Break your heart, give it to me. Take me to a drive-in Take me on a long vacation, outbound from an old train station. We'll watch the world go by till we close our eyes in a sleeping car. We'll wake up in a brand new place. You're the only one who knows my face, looking for a little salvation. Take me on a long vacation. wanna feel my heart turn over till I'm upside down, can't touch the ground, there's no gravity. I wanna feel my blood rush, just like the first time we touched. Wanna fall over and over and over, take me on a roller coaster. Take me, doesn't matter where we go. Take me, I don't even have to know. Take me slow. Take me to a drive-in movie, slide a little closer to me.
I was in the snow globe. I was there.
There you go.
Oh,
And there was a
great.
blizzard. It felt like Boston.
It really did.
2015.
It was a blizzard of emotion. It really was. You were talking about how you bring people in. I mean, every like romantic relationship I ever had was just shooting around in my
No,
head.
that's great, and that's the way it's supposed to go. You
Yeah.
start picturing, you know, even though I'm picturing a specific person in my head, it's.
It wasn't me right next to you. Well, just say,
You gotta shave, man.
I know.
Yeah,
That was fantastic.
Thank you.
Oh, that was excellent.
My wife is going to be very excited because last night when we were listening to the record, she's like, "Oh, that's my new favorite song." Which
I love that song. There's something about just on the recording there are two guitars, and when I'm playing it solo, I have to incorporate kind of both parts. But I just love that split guitar finger picking thing. It's you know, it's stuff that like Jim Croce did and in the early '70s, and you know, in the finger picking style, James Taylor, and occasionally Neil Young does that kind of thing. It's cool.
I think what got me was I listened to the New Year's Eve 2005 show first,
Oh, yeah.
and it was 3,000 miles. It was great, and
Cool.
then Take All the Sky You Need.
Yeah.
It's an amazing song.
Oh, thank you.
And then I heard it on the album that you put it on. It was
Yeah.
it just for some reason that song really hit me.
Yeah, that one's great. It's not a great morning song because there's some high notes in there. But, you know, the drive-in movie thing is perfect for just chilling out, and
Yeah.
it's mellow.
Do you prefer doing the acoustic as opposed to the full studio recordings? Because it's different. I mean, they're both great. I like the acoustic stuff you're doing.
Yeah, you
it
know,
seems to have more of the emotion in it.
I think so too. There's some intimacy that's like that, and the more layers you put on a recording, it seems like the farther you get away from it. It's like, you know, when you're recording nowadays, you separate the guitar and the vocal, so all the interplay that's between your guitar and the vocal is sort of contrived. Because you're recording the guitar like thinking in your mind that you're singing, but you're not, and then you record the vocal to that guitar, and it just takes us some of the soulfulness out of it. So, you know, and a lot of my favorite records are just people singing and playing live at the same time, despite the fact that, you know, what happens when you do it that way, you sacrifice some sonic quality because your vocal it's getting picked up by the guitar mic, and the guitar is getting picked up by the vocal mic, and so you can't tweak those channels and make them pristine, and it offends the engineers, but you lose sonic quality, but then you lose some soul in the process by separating them. And I don't know, I've never really figured out the best way to do it, and you just try, and in the studio it's like you're bringing your song to prom, and you're going to put it in a cummerbund and a flower and a tuxedo, and then like sometimes you take a photograph in 20 years later, you're looking like, why did I wear that tuxedo?
it's
Why did I use a drum machine? You know, like why is the cummerbund purple? Like why would you do
meanwhile
that?
your favorite photo is the one that was taken on the dance floor after everything's been stripped
Right,
off.
yeah, right.
It's out of focus, but it's real, and it's
Yeah, right, in the moment and not posed.
I always look at your songs are like cousins of each other. You got the produced album, and then there's the
Right.
live, and it's the same song, but it's not. I mean, the
Yeah.
biggest example I got is I love the new album. I love the Johnny Cash song.
Yeah.
But there's nothing like experiencing it at a show.
I agree, yeah.
It's a completely different song on the album. It's a great song, but it's not the same song.
Right, yeah.
You know,
there's definitely a different vibe there. But that's the conundrum, you know, is how to do it. And what I generally do is with every album or two, I'll do a live album.
Yep.
That has, like, I'm going to do a live recording in Chicago in 2 weeks.
Oh, great.
And it's going to be the songs from this record and the last record put together for the first time on a live album. And all the stories. You know, I'm going to tell all the stories that I've been telling for the last 2 or 3 years. And then I'm going to set it on fire, my whole set list on fire, and not tell those stories again and walk away. And
there were new stories last night. So I've seen you 3 times in the last 3 months.
Yeah.
Stalker.
Yeah, I know. but so the New Year's Eve show is something my wife and I always wanted to do, and we did that. And then
Cool.
your friend, we have a mutual friend, Monica.
Yeah, you actually skipped out on one of my shows.
I did skip
Oh,
out.
all right.
Yeah.
That's what I like.
And then went to the Shrewsbury show,
Yeah.
which was fun,
right,
and very
right.
intimate,
the
at the funeral parlor.
at the funeral parlor.
Where you
man.
could not get enough
I
funeral
played
jokes.
ice cream parlors. I played
A truck.
a truck.
That's where I started getting confused about you, Ellis, when he said he was going to a funeral home to see you. And then it was going in a different direction for me. And then I realized how many different places you do play.
Yeah, I'll play wherever I can.
Which
It's
is great with folk, you can do that.
Yeah, you wouldn't want to bring a punk band into a funeral home.
I think you would.
I think it would, actually.
I think you should.
I'd go to that show. I'm just saying.
When I go, I want a
Maybe
punk
you're
band
right.
playing my
Actually,
funeral.
You are right.
You'd go with us, Ellis. We would drive you. It would be
That'd
good
be
times.
awesome.
But I mean, but your songs take on a different presence in live, and it's cool.
And that's what it should be for any artist, though. You should have, you know, the album quality, and then you should have a completely different animal when you see him live.
Yeah, it should feel like I remember seeing Elton John for the first time in concert, and I felt like it was just a record version of all the songs, and I almost didn't feel like it was a live recording. It was so perfectly matched to what the record sounded like, and I'd rather have people break loose and
Yeah.
you know, like Dylan does in his concerts. He reinvents the song, and you know, I literally have to change keys now because I'm not singing as high as I did when I was 25, and I have to like just finesse it based on what I have for skills. I'm not using a fastball anymore. I got to go to the knuckle and
But that just creates new experiences for your fans.
Yeah,
They can keep coming to each show because it's always going to be different.
right. And you know, I'm always on to the next new batch of songs. So
how was it to go back? So I saw some of your 20th anniversary show at Cassine.
yeah, that was cool.
Was that tough to go back to all that stuff? Because I saw the stories and Say Something shows.
Yeah.
And I remember at one time there was one song where you just kind of stopped and we kind of all picked up. Like there was a song and you're just like, okay, you guys keep going.
Right. Yeah. Like,
Because you don't play a lot of those songs. Like
And
Just a
that's
Jesterful. When's the last time you played like a song like that?
Well, I just did a concert window show using songs from Stories and Say Something, and I played it then.
Oh,
so
that's
that was
awesome.
just like a week or two ago. But that was the first time in 3 years that I played it. And you know, it's great. I mean, it's an era, and some of those songs, I'm proud of all of them. You know, some of them haven't lasted the test of time, and that's no ranking on their quality. It's just that I've got other songs that I've got to get out to people, and it's good to see what the younger person that was me was doing with their hands and with their lyrics and melodies. It's nice to go back and revisit that. Like, those records are important to you, and you know them better than I do.
Yep.
Because you might still listen to them, and you know, I remember like the Counting Crows record, that first Counting Crows record. That record was super important to me. I listened to that maybe more than any record in the 90s, and
My daughter's actually named after one of those songs.
oh,
Yeah,
really?
Yeah.
Which?
Anna Begins.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
You named her Begins?
Yep. Yeah. We were going to go with Anna. It just seemed too obvious. So, you know, she was there.
She hates her middle name.
She hates her middle name, but
You're serious, you did. It's Anna Begins.
yeah. No. Anna
Oh,
Begins
okay.
is the song.
Yeah.
Actually, so I was telling the guys on the way down to pick you up. So she's grown up listening to your music. She used to sit in a car seat in the back, and the first song she would ever sing in the car was "Listen, the Wind Blow." And
Alright.
and so we went to one of the shows like, just play the Wind Blow song, and you're like, I can't play that one right now. And she's like, oh, okay.
Is that the song
Yeah.
Amanda did?
It is actually. We have
that up?
What is that?
we had a fan.
One of our
We posted
friends.
on our social media that we were doing the show, and one of our local musician fans sent us a recording.
And I believe it was recent, like maybe even last night.
It had to have been, yeah, because she said she was going to do it, so she did a show last night and sent it to us.
What's her name?
So, Amanda Cody.
Awesome. Thank you, Amanda. Better be good.
Is,
No pressure.
Did she just play solo guitar?
Yes.
Oh yeah, she's a solo bass player. And there it is.
Love her voice, man.
She's great.
She's great.
Fantastic.
Watch the streetlights or stare out the window at the beats of joy. What's the point? Wish I could buy my heart to say.
She's great.
Yeah, so that's
Yeah,
Amanda.
That's awesome. Cool.
And then my
Wait, has she been on your show?
she hasn't been on the show yet, but we see her
Oh,
around. She hangs out at our local places.
And she probably will be now, thank you. So we'll make sure.
There you go.
And she'll have to do an Ellis song.
And she'll have to do an Ellis song for us, yeah. That's how you get into the car now.
Justin, my acoustic partner and close friend of all of us,
Yeah.
he was in a duo with a girl, Christy, and they used to cover some of your songs. Yes,
Really?
yeah.
Wow, that's great.
Blacktop Tree.
Was it that?
Yep.
Yeah, I love hearing that, you know. I love hearing that, especially like emerging songwriters when they're covering my stuff, because I know every time you incorporate some song into your set, it becomes part of the DNA of your own music. And so I know that by her doing that song, there'll be pieces of it that she takes into whatever she writes for herself, and to me that's really important.
Totally.
I am a hack songwriter, but well, I listen to your stuff for that reason, because I think it makes me a better songwriter. Learning from you
Oh, thank
and
you.
the way you write opens my mind up to, oh, okay, well, I didn't think of being obvious, and that's folk music. I mean,
Yeah.
the stories they're life stories, they're obvious stories, and sometimes you get too bogged down with what kind of metaphor can I use for this and that and this and that.
Yeah,
And-
when you're really stuck, just say it.
Yeah.
Just say what your intention is, because, you know, to me, every song has a mission statement that's just that clear thing that it wants to really be doing. Like, it's a love song that talks about some specific thing about the relationship, and then you write the song, and then because you've tried too hard to be artful, you miss the point, or no one's getting the point when they hear it. Only you understand the intention of the song. And then people come up to you and say, you know, we want to use this for a Republican Party fundraiser. And you're like, it's Born in the USA is sort of making a statement against everything you stand for. Why would you do that?
That is probably the perfect example of any song that's
Right.
been misunderstood over time.
Yeah, because he made the chorus so big that no one even...
Nobody pays attention to anything else.
Yeah.
By the way, I just want to thank you guys for not debating the fact that I was a hack.
I haven't heard you, so...
No, but
I
these
would've
guys
come
are
to your
close enough.
defense.
Got some great songs.
Okay,
Oh,
the
there
time
you
has
go.
passed. It's too late.
There's that awkward 2 minutes later compliment.
So I want to check into time with you. You okay? We drive around a little
Yeah,
bit more?
sure.
All right.
Love to.
We
Can
don't
we
feel
hear
like
that song?
we kidnapped you here at all. So
You know
you
where-
barely know as you got into the car. We really appreciate it.
You fed us bacon.
There has been a car
Hey.
following me the whole time. I'm assuming
Really?
they're with you. Yeah.
It's a
Yeah.
security.
It's my mother.
And if you've noticed, we've gone around the same circle 30
I told
times
you not to hang out with bearded types.
well, the long hair too. So.
Can we hear another song?
Sure, let me think
Okay.
here. Can I tune for a minute?
Oh yeah.
Hey, tell a joke.
Yeah, put me on the spot.
What is the most requested song that you have that you can't play?
Well, you know, what's great about that is that it goes through these cycles, and if you don't play the song that comes up often long enough, then people give up trying. So,
And you do have loyal fans that go to a lot of the same
yeah,
shows. So
and people try and like ask you for the most obscure song they can just to get a reaction out of me. But, 3,000 Miles last night was requested 3 times.
and you didn't play it. And
And
we
I
left
didn't do it.
shocked. I'm not joking. We came out and my kid's like, oh, he's going to come back out and play 3,000 Miles. And you had this great story about Boston. And you're like, good night, everybody. And my wife turns and goes, what?
Yeah, exactly.
Where's
right.
3,000 Miles?
Always leave them guessing.
Which,
Yeah.
by the way, I don't know if I should. I don't want to insult 3,000 Miles. I love the song.
Sure.
But my family and I have a game that we've been playing with it for like 10 years
Yeah.
on how that song it's a conversation about a resume. So when it comes onto the radio, we hear it and we talk to the song. So what's your name? My name is Robert Wilson. where are you from? Eau Claire, Wisconsin. And so we
a
have
job interview.
It's a job interview for
What
like
have you been up to? Well, I've been living out of a
suitcase now. Yeah.
Wow, I never thought about it like that.
Okay, well, I'm sorry if I've changed your whole song.
He'll never play the same again.
So I'm
Should
telling
do
my
a song that's an intake at a psych ward and see what that. So what are your real problems?
But you can go through the whole song and have the other half of the conversation.
Right.
Because
that's
my daughter
awesome.
and I sit there at the kitchen table the other night and like, what are you going to talk to Ellis about? And my daughter, she's 16, big fan. She's like, I'll tell him that we do the whole job interview thing to his song. And we sat there and we found the YouTube clip, we play it, and
that's
we're going
classic.
through cracking up.
Yeah, that's
But this
amazing.
is just for flipping burgers, you know? You're telling
Yeah.
us way too much information. We don't need to know this. I met a girl, you know, playing cards for cigarettes. Okay, but we didn't ask you that.
Yeah, get back to the point.
And he doesn't get hired at the end of the song. But,
Right.
Oh.
but Robert Willis, he's a great guy.
Nice guy.
And he lies about his age on the resume.
Right,
Yeah.
right. Hey, you just got to be 21 to serve here.
It's as good as any age if I'll ever confess to or something like that.
Yeah.
I'm old enough to get away. So anyway, that's my
That's great. Actually.
Robert Wilson song.
Now I'm not going to think of it any other way.
You have ruined an Ellis Paul song for Ellis Paul.
No,
Yeah,
I'm
nice.
connected to Ellis Paul now.
Can't wait
Yeah.
for McCartney
Never
to
played
get
the
in here.
same.
I expect,
Let it be. Listen, let it be. It's like it's a child's song, right?
yeah.
Well, I can play a brand new song. I played this last night. I ain't no Jesus, never saved a soul, never walked on water, except ice and snow. They're talking in the choir, I'm just the luckiest guy they know. But I ain't no Jesus, I've never saved a soul. I ain't no Messiah, I struggle with the wrong from the right. I ain't no Prince of Peace, I've hit the floor in a good bar fight. Ask forgiveness on Sunday, asking for trouble Saturday night. I ain't no savior, I struggle with the wrong from right. No, I can't walk on water, can't part the sea. The only miracle that I've seen is you walking down the aisle to me. No, I can't talk to God, I ain't divine. The only miracle that I've seen is that I can call you mine. I ain't no carpenter, can hardly build a shelf. I couldn't build no religion, I can barely follow myself. There's a rumor downtown that heaven has sent me an angel to hell. But I ain't no carpenter, can hardly build a shelf. Now I can't walk on water, can't part the sea. The only miracle that I've seen is you walking down the aisle to me. No, I can't talk to God, I ain't divine. The only miracle that I've seen is that I can call you mine. I ain't no savior, I can't find the words. How can you talk to the masses when you can't even talk to a girl? Get a little courage from Holy One, but then your speech gets slurred. I ain't no savior, can't find the words. No, I can't talk to God, I ain't divine. The only miracle that I've seen is that I can call you mine. No, I can't walk on water, can't part the sea. The only miracle that I've seen is you walking down the aisle to me. You walking down the aisle to me.
Very nice.
comedic. Westwood.
Just keep talking.
Thank you, General Boston.
You just played that song in 3 different towns. So.
That's pretty cool. Have you ever played while moving forward in a vehicle, or just in some kind of perpetual
No.
motion?
While moving forward.
Well, I don't know. You're used to being on a stage.
This is the fastest song I've ever played, just in miles per hour. I've played in cars before. Yeah, I've had other people drive, but I've never filmed myself in a car. Playing.
All right.
So yeah, this is a virgin experience.
Nice.
So
Will you do it again?
Will you write a
That's
song
the
about us?
question.
Sure. Yeah, this is awesome.
Will you write a song about it?
Sure. 4 hairy guys in a good old car, driving around Boston, driving real far. Just worried I'm gonna end up with scars from this.
That's the new theme song. Sorry, Zero Drift.
We actually have 2 theme songs.
Yeah.
Oh, do
2
you
local
really?
bands.
2 local bands wrote us songs.
Wow.
We just
They're
tossed
really
it out there, and
Yeah.
then
It's hard
we got 2
because
guys.
what rhymes with truck? It gets pretty dirty pretty quick.
Yeah.
They focus on the name. Yeah, Distracted Driving's the name of the show.
Oh,
so,
okay, that's
yeah.
good. That's
Which,
good.
by the way, is a horrible name for a show. We came up with a name, and then we
Yeah, exactly.
we
Don't
make
Google
make the website. If you
Yeah.
Google us, we don't come up, but a lot of horrific videos come up.
Oh, really?
Blood
People
on the highway.
texting and car accidents. We didn't think there wasn't. Hey, what's this called? Distracted Driving. Sure. And now the YouTube player. We have a YouTube channel, and if you go to it, all the suggested videos on the side.
Right.
We've had people on the site writing
Yeah,
to
we
us,
have,
being like, "We're trying to, get laws passed for." We're actually a TV show.
Yeah, we have
This has
to
nothing to
explain.
do.
You don't want us speaking for you.
Right, yeah. You guys should have like video of you just all texting at the same time.
That's the thing. Because Ray is always
During-
on his phone in the
Right.
front seat.
But just this week, this guy's like, I'm trying to get legislation passed. If we can get everybody unified together, we'll be able to do this. And I'm like, dude, we're a comedy show. Like, we don't. He's like, I know, we're going to do it. I'm like, you're not listening to me. Just look at the page.
They
Like,
just want supporters.
yeah.
Right.
So, but it was an honor to have you on here.
Oh,
So how
thank you guys.
So what's
Thank
the
you.
best way? I know that you have so many avenues that you're putting your music out there. Feel free to share, and we'll make sure people know how to find you.
Yeah, well, we'll link to all the website, Facebook, and that would be great.
It's on the screen right now. It's
Yeah,
supposed to be.
I'm
Okay.
scrolling
It's
it all
magic.
through. And you're doing a lot of the concerts from your. Is it literally your bedroom?
Yeah, concert window's going really well. I'm doing that almost every month. There's a show, and I always have a group of people with me. It's not just me sitting there alone playing. It's kind of like this, except in a house.
With other musicians. Well, we do have musicians.
Everyone's
but yeah.
playing along, and yeah, it's a lot of fun. And what's great about it is everyone can sit and watch me. A lot of people don't get out to the shows because I don't travel through their towns, or they have kids, or they.
That's what's great about this day and age. Just to be able to jump on the computer and see a live show.
Right, yeah, and so that's that. Yeah, that's going well, and that's I do that once a month. So.
Cool.
You have some of the best fans. I mean, when I posted the photos, the comments that were coming back to this, and the amount of shares, and everybody was just
Oh, that's
obsessed
great.
about with the stuff that
Yeah,
was
so
going on.
we actually talked to we hang out with a lot of the music scene in the local area, and apparently they were all extremely jealous when they found out that you were going to be on the show.
Oh, good.
Oh yeah, they were coming out of the woodwork. It was great.
Well, I've been Boston's very important to me, so it's I've been playing here for 25 years, so it's
How many years have you done the New Year's Eve show?
it's probably around 21, 22. We can't figure out the official count. I only took 1 year off when I was 29.
Martin Sexton took it, right?
Right, yeah, and I think the first one was when I was 27. So, and so yeah, that's been a long time ago. It's 22 years at least.
I thank your management for letting me take pictures that night. It was a blast.
Yeah, they came out great. Really, I have that one that you took out me outside the window. That's
a
very,
great
Yes.
very
one,
special
yeah.
one.
Actually,
Tim's fantastic. He makes us all look like rock stars in our little music scene.
Yeah, it's great.
He photographs a lot of local shows, and I don't know. There's something about a Tim Rice photo that's so different from everyone else's.
Yeah.
I appreciate it. Actually, I talked to Ralph, and we're going to put one of those up in the club.
Oh, all right.
That black and white. So yeah, I got to get him a
Okay.
copy, and we hang that up there. So
I've probably played that venue more than anyone in its history, so that shot's very special to the club too. And
it was cool because that night there's so many shots of all these incredible artists, and it's like, oh, we can put that up there. I'm like, yeah, okay,
Yeah.
sure, that's fine. Not a problem. How many copies do you want? I'll do whatever you want. We'll get that up.
that's great.
Do you have a favorite venue, locally?
Well, Club Passim is sort of
Yeah.
my home club. and I play there 4 times every New Year's. I do 4 shows over New Year's, and generally play a few other shows. I'm playing there in June, and I do a summer show and the New Year's Eve show, so it should be fun.
The New Year's Eve show was cool. I hadn't been, and I've been dying to go for years, and it was a very cool experience to be there for New Year's Eve, and then you sit there wondering, like, I wonder, does this just end at 12:05? Like, when do they kick us out? Like, how long does this go on?
Yeah, we've had some really late nights there where people have to take the train and stops at 1.
Yes, there were train announcements every 15 minutes saying you should leave now if you have to. All right, what else? How do we want to wrap this up, Ray?
As you're driving,
I'm driving,
and a famous musician is in the back seat playing.
Yes.
What is going through you internally as you're trying to avoid potholes? Is it very stressful?
The potholes. No, not stress at all. The potholes is a big deal. I've never driven the same route this many times on our show.
But I like it because you found a route
That's the point. I found a route.
No ups and downs, no crazy stops.
That's what you do in the first half of the show, scouting locations for the actual concert.
And also because we're out of our home area, but I know it well enough, but I can easily get lost, and then turning to him to explain to him that I don't know how to take him back to where he was could be a problem. Somebody's going to come looking for you eventually, so...
Help.
We did that with another one of our guests. We're like, well, where do we go? He's all right, we'll take a left up here, and then my house is going to be down on the left.
Cool. Oh, nice.
And it turned into a 2-part episode because the second part is us keep driving by his house.
Right.
Because it's dark, and he wanted to keep talking, so he wouldn't tell us that's where you have to turn in.
Oh, nice.
And it's like, okay, so most of the footage is us just going, seriously, Gary, where do we turn here? He goes, oh, you just passed my house again. All right, that's great. So we're going to do one more lap. We'll take you back. So we got like 3-4 minutes left.
Okay.
If you can believe it, some people actually don't want to get out of the back seat on this show.
This is fun, guys. I'm having a ball.
Do you need to do any errands? Is there anywhere we can take you?
No, I've got a radio interview at 3 I got to get to, and I got to show up in Londonderry, New Hampshire tonight.
Wow.
So you got to drive.
Yeah. So I got more driving in my day.
Do you find yourself driving around a lot by yourself, or do you always have somebody with you? Or?
Yeah, there's a lot of solo time, but I frequently have openers in the car with me, our friends just coming along for the ride. So I'd say probably a third of the time I'm alone.
How many songs were written while you were driven?
A lot.
Yeah, I was going to say, that's where I come up with all my brilliant ideas, and I can't remember.
Yeah, I've done...
We never hear them.
Yeah, that's why, because you're never... Well, sometimes you're with me, but...
Yeah, I've probably done 20, 30 songs in the car over the years. And I have, like, if I'm working on something in the car, I often record the guitar part on CD, and so I can sing and write at the same time that I'm driving. And
do you actually write?
Yeah.
I mean, like,
sometimes
because I've done that in the car. I come up with an idea and I'm leaning over, talk about distracted driving, trying to write on a piece of paper, and then I can't read it. Of course,
it happens. I've never hurt anybody, but
well, that's good.
If you do, just write them into the song.
Yeah. Normally, actually, what I do is I burn a CD of the guitar part. I'll sing in the car and I'll record what I'm singing onto my phone, which is still just this distracted thing as well. You're trying to find the record button and you're 70 miles per hour on the.
You may end up in one of the videos on the side of our YouTube page.
Yeah. The best thing is the day that you guys are going to have an accident with James Taylor in here or something.
I'm like, hey, we got James Taylor. That's cool. And we got to explain to him.
Walking down a country.
I always wonder when the car is going to break down. It's okay, we got AAA. We'll be fine. We're just sitting on the side of the road. Musician's got his guitar.
Right. Putting out a can.
That's a show inside itself.
We pass police when we pass one on the way to record it. We pass police every time that we're always figuring, because we usually record at night. So we have to have all these lights on.
Oh, right.
And it's real bright in here. And we're figuring one of these times we're getting pulled over.
Yeah, doesn't happen yet.
And that's an episode.
And that's going to be great. It's going to take we don't plan a lot, to be honest. You probably have been able to figure that out. But,
how often do you guys do shows?
Well, we try to do once a week if we can, and we do maybe 2 episodes
back to back. Yeah,
back to back. Wow, so we're on once a week.
We've got about 40, 45 shows pushed out there.
And you have it on YouTube?
Yeah, we're on YouTube, and we're on Milford TV and Amherst Media.
Amherst Media TV. Yeah.
So do you have to bleep out all my curse
You were
words?
fine. We've been much worse. This is
all right.
Yep, you'll be fine.
I'm usually drunk in the backseat.
Yeah.
But it's a little early today, so
sometimes we have musicians. Sometimes just the 3 of us driving around talking. I mean, we had Lou Temple from Walking Dead.
Yeah.
On the phone. He called through. Yeah.
He's thinking, I could have done this over the phone.
Yeah.
We tell people that after
Wow,
the
yeah.
After the fact.
Oh, well, that was amazing. It really was.
Thank you guys. Thanks for doing
We
it.
And
appreciate
thank
it.
you for introducing me to Ellis Paul's music. It's
Glad this
fantastic.
worked out.
Yeah, Tim, thank you for that.
Definitely check out the new album.
Yep, the double album. I
Double,
almost
like
said double live,
like
but
Frampton
no.
Comes Alive.
That's right.
Double.
All right, thank you very much, Ellis.
Ellis, thank
All
you
right,
for
well,
the bacon as well.
Yeah, no sweat. Nourishment, music, good conversation.
All right.
That was awesome.
Thanks, guys.
Turn the key and ready to go. Just left the tea, it's time to start the show. The wheels are turning on the minivan. So says the guy from that astronaut band. It's Ray J, Tim, and the weekly guest. As far as YouTube videos, this one is the best. It's distracted driving. Distracted driving. It's distracted driving. Distracted driving. Driving around town just a wasting gas. Let me take a minute.